Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We're talking today with two great hockey guys. Right here is head coach and general manager of the Waterloo Blackhawks, P.K O'Handley, and next to me from NBC Sports, analyst Pierre McGuire. Welcome, gentlemen.
Good to see you, Craig.
Good to see you, too. Now, we'll start this off. How did this all come together today?
I'm going to leave it to PK to explain.
Well, Pierre and I have conversed over the years, and he's always said if there was ever an opportunity, he'd love to come to Waterloo, and we knew his schedule, and we were able to work it out. And his graciousness to come here and spend time with our players and some season ticket holders, I think is absolutely outstanding, and we can't thank him enough.
This is my 29th year in pro hockey.
Wow.
It's a long time. I know my hairline presents that. But, you know, the biggest thing is that I can't wait to get back to the grassroots. I miss it so much every single day. I was talking to PK as he was gracefully taking me around town. And the thing that I love the most is watching young players get better, young coaches get better, getting a chance to send them some wisdom along the way. So I miss a lot of that stuff.
So, going to practice today, what was that like?
Awesome. I had such a good time. I wish I had brought my skates. The next time I come, I am bringing my skates. Coach said I could go on the ice too, which is even better. Just to watch some of the younger ones in particular, the confidence that they started to get as the practice went along. I love the drills that he ran, the progression in particular, watching transition the puck from offense to defense or defense to offense. And there was a lot of really good things that I saw. I like the power play schematic at the end of it. I just like being at the rink. I like the smell of the rink. I like the feel of the rink. I love the dressing room there. Everything was all good.
Could you tell that the players were maybe playing a little harder today, knowing this guy was in the rink?
Well, there were times when I had to reel them back in because they want to impress this guy so bad, and that they should. I think you know, most of them, not most of them, all of them know who he is and where he is in the hockey world, and I think when you know as many people and you're in the game for as long as Pierre's been in the game and what he's done in the game from a management perspective, a scouting perspective, a coaching perspective, to have him around your players, and we've got some high-end players that have aspirations of being interviewed by him in that setting. I think the experience for them, for our staff, for everybody is really invaluable, Craig. I couldn't put really, I think, into words for a Shane Bowers or a Mikey Anderson or a Jacob Rysick what today meant in one more notch on their ladder to try to get to the top.
You know, I can't wait to see those guys this summer. I know Rysick's already been drafted by Chicago, but Bowers in particular, where he's going to go. And Coach and I were talking before we even came here, Craig, about Brock Besser. And,
right.
Who's texting today, by the way?
I'm just
Really, I bet.
He's just, and Coach and I were talking about, you know what, as good a player, and fans will remember him as the player, he's a better kid. He's a better man. He's just a better everything. And he's going to be a really good player in the NHL. My heart broke this year when he wasn't able to play for the Americans in the World Junior. It broke. And I watched the World Junior every year. I worked it for a lot of years. I watch it all the time. And I had a big viewing party at my house the night of the gold medal game. Some were Canadian, some were American. It was pretty good. But I kept thinking to myself, man, I wish Besser was playing. So that's just part of the legacy of what Waterloo Blackhawk hockey is all about.
Now, you really touched on what some of these guys going up the ranks need to work on. What do you think is the most important thing, obviously with the skill in the game, but as a character, what do they need to remember while working their way up?
Consistency is the number one thing that people look for. And Scotty Bowman, the legendary coach, told me this a long time ago. Don't be an A player one night and a D player the next, because coaches can't trust you when you have that big a fluctuation. Always be a consistent player, and that starts in practice. It starts for how you prepare for practice. It starts about what you eat before practice. Practice is the key that gets you going, but you got to be consistent every single day.
It's a great point. It's one of the biggest things that at this level that our guys have to learn, and we have a saying around here, consistency comes through commitment. Yeah. And it's easy to say I'm committed, but are you committed? And about this time, you know, the players, I think, understand more and more what that commitment needs, but how much further they have to take it to be a regular NHL guy.
That's the biggest separation point. I've seen so many guys that are really good juniors and really good college players and then really good minor pro players, and then they get to the NHL and it all goes away. Because there's a whole other level you have to get to, and it's pretty hard to get there.
Now, in terms of the term, the word USHL, I mean, what does that mean to you?
Development, one of the better development leagues in the world. Young players getting an opportunity to progress, not just hockey-wise, but educationally as well. It's a breeding ground for U.S. college hockey. It's a breeding ground for the National Hockey League. I think the biggest thing, Coach and I talked about it, the educational opportunities that you can get coming from the USHL. That's what the league means to me.
And for you, you've been in it for a while. I mean,
A while.
Hey, the same guy got him as got me.
I mean, you've obviously been with it for a while and seen some of the changes. And what changes have you seen as far as the game and as far as the league?
How long do we have? I'll tell you, I think the founding fathers of this league, Ron Woody, Dave Tyler, some owners, some organizations had a vision for what this could become, and I think it's becoming that more and more each day because of facilities, opportunities for kids. The competitiveness of the league is propelling college hockey to more and more heights. I don't think that can be understated. I don't know if you agree, Pierre, but college hockey is as good as it is because guys have gone through the rigors of this deal.
There's no question.
But it's changed. We have staffs of a full front office staff, coaching staff, training staff, strength coach, you know, the video and the teaching that is taking place. When I first started, I've told this story 1,000 times, you'll laugh. I was selling tickets, connecting beer kegs, and then proceeded to get beat by the Thunder Bay Flyers 11-0, and Dave Siciliano shook my hand and said, good game. That's an honest-to-God
No,
true
that's how
story.
you learn growing up in the ranks.
Sure.
I think we all do. The one thing I would just use is I watched a player last night, Gustav Olofsson, play for the Minnesota Wild. And I think back, he played in Green Bay, goes to Colorado College. The next time I see him, he's playing in Sochi for the Swedes in the Olympics. So it transitions from Green Bay in USHL, Colorado College, Olympics, wins a silver medal.
Wow.
That just shows you what this league's all about.
Now, and we have a very strong youth hockey program in Waterloo, and I'm sure you travel around the country. And our youth hockey is packed. I mean, it's just the arena's packed every night with kids, the junior hawk program from any age on up. What have you seen traveling the country, and is it maybe just my perception, being a big fan of hockey, that the popularity just seems to be growing and growing with this sport?
It is in the United States, for sure it is. I think the traditional marketplaces like Waterloo are always going to grow. The non-traditionals is where it's really growing in Florida, in Carolina, in Arizona, in Texas, in Southern California. It's just booming. In Tennessee, my goodness gracious, Tennessee is just exploding because of the Nashville Predators. We're getting better athletes playing. I used to work for Bob Johnson in Pittsburgh, and he used to run USA Hockey before he came to work for us, and he always had a thing. I'd love to see a major rink infrastructure in every big city in America, and then I'd like to see Lawrence Taylor. I'd like to see Michael Jordan. I'd like to see Barry Bonds. All the great athletes get to play hockey that came from the inner city. He says, can you imagine? We would dominate the world. And I thought he was like a Get Smart villain, you know what I mean? We'll dominate the world.
He was such a positive
But
guy.
he was just so positive about hockey, and I think we're starting to see more and more of that now.
Now, from your perspective and your assistant coaches and whatnot, you guys do a lot for our youth hockey program in Waterloo, offering camps. The Blackhawks offer camps. I know my fiance's son has been a part of that a couple of times. And I think that's imperative that they have somebody to look up to, especially in our community.
Well, I think we understand and we try to get better, and we need to get better at spending more time with our youth. I think hockey is the greatest teacher of life. You know, the football coaches would say that, the basketball coaches would say that. I think Pierre would agree that this game, there's something different about it.
There's a romance to it. It really is.
And as much as most kids should chase their dream, you should chase your dream till it ends. But for most kids, it probably does end at some point. But the game, it's life, and people gravitate back to it. And I don't think there's a ton of ego in the game of hockey. And I think our players, when they interact with our youth hockey kids, to watch the look of the young player's face, and I watch the old player's face look at the little kid, and we talk a lot to our guys about, hey, that was you. You know, they're dreaming about being you. You dreamt about somebody at some time, and this is a big deal. There's give and take there. I think it's something special and something we want to continue to do and do more of.
Now, you touched on today earlier talking to the players, millennials these days. The communication is different these days because of all the technology.
Mm-hmm.
How is it different? And it's obvious by some of the differences, but touch on some of the differences between back when you started playing as opposed to kids started playing today. I know that's a big question, but
Well, we didn't have tuck blades. We had steel blades.
We should go back to them.
Yeah, we didn't have face shields. That's why I don't have my own teeth. No, we had wood sticks. We had everything. We didn't have a lot of indoor rinks. I mean, I grew up in Canada, and we didn't have a lot of indoor rinks. We used to play outside a lot. I think they could fit 4 rinks on the football field in the town where I grew up, and they had lights, but you'd play on those rinks.
Right.
And your mother or your father would be the timekeeper, you know, and you didn't have travel teams. I remember one of the worst days of my life when I was a little kid is our team didn't make the Quebec Pee Wee tournament. You used to have to play off to get in it. We didn't make this legendary tournament. I remember walking home crying, carrying my bag. I was like, I can't believe we didn't make it. It broke my heart. So, yeah, hockey's changed a lot. I mean, my boy's 14 years old. He's traveled all over the place because of hockey. I mean, I never did that.
and even the technology today with different cameras and your computers and everything else, and looking at stats and everything else.
Yeah, analytics has changed a little bit of it. I'm not a big believer in the analytics for hockey. I know some people are. I don't think you can measure a man's heart or his courage or his bravery. I just don't think you can.
You can't. You can't.
Yeah.
It's changed in our league though with the video breakdown. We clip every player's shift. He can look at his shifts after any period, any game, and we use that as a big teaching tool. I would say the young person today is different, 100%, and how they learn, what they want to learn, how you communicate with them, and being old now, it's been a challenge. But I'll tell you, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun trying to figure it out.
More than anything else it does. It does. It keeps you young. I love going to the rink. I can't beat the rink enough.
Well, you said too, with this new technology, new ways of doing things, as a coach, you have to adapt with the times.
The best coach that I know is Scotty Bowman, and he coached in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and 90s, and his last game was 2002. He had to adapt to every era. That's why he kept it fresh. And some guys loved them, most guys hated them, but they loved them when they won the Stanley Cup.
And he coached how many decades?
It's five decades. Yeah,
That's
pretty
crazy.
good.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, guys, any final thoughts you want to give out before we wrap this up?
I can't be more appreciative for everything that PK did for me here. The team, the players, the management, the town. I have had a blast here. This has been like Christmas Day for me. It really has been. I can't wait to come back. I'm bringing my skates the next time. No, he told me I could go on the ice, so I'm going on.
And you should come on.
I'm gonna.
We couldn't be more thrilled to have you, and I
Thank
can't
you.
thank you
I had a
enough.
blast.
It's
Thank
been
you.
great.
Craig,
Good to
take
meet you.
care on the bus. Just watch out. He's tight on the per diem.
P.K. O'Handley, Pierre McGuire, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.